Hello, welcome back to the review of The Perfect Match. So, I'm picking up where we left off. So, here we are. He's at the coffee shop. Him and his friends have gotten together after they jog. And they were um, sitting there talking, right? And the previous scene, the wives were the soon to be wife and the other one's wife sitting there. They went to a store in relation to getting some stuff in relation to the baby thing for the one that was trying to get pregnant. But coming back to the guys, they are all sitting there talking, and they're talking to him about, have you ever even tried to be in a relationship? Like a relationship, like taking the person out and being in a relationship with, actually being with them for longer than a one-time stand. You understand what I'm saying? And he's like, there's not a necessity for that. I don't do relationships. And one of the friends is like, what if we made you a bet? He's like, a bet? What we talking about? He's like, if you lose, you gotta buy me a flat screen television. Well, actually, he said, if you win, he gets the flat screen television. They'll buy him the flat screen television. But if he loses, he has to give his spot up as the best man at the wedding, and let the other friend take the best man spot. So, and he's like, okay, what's the deal? He's like, you're gonna get in a relationship with somebody. And he's like, what do you call a relationship? You're gonna stay with one girl until the wedding. And he's like, what you mean by stay with one girl? You mean like, get I'm with the girl but sleeping with everybody else? Or he's like, no, you gonna sleep with the same girl that you're in a relationship with all the way up until the wedding. And he's like, I can do that. It's like, you think you can do it? It's like, I can do that. But he already peeping that chick. And while they were sitting there, she was sitting all the way across the room. Like, he saw her come in, and he was kind of talking about how he kind of liked her. She had already ordered her coffee. But while he was sitting there, he had said something slightly derogatory about her, kind of like he wanted to, you know, the word that they use in today's slang, smash. And so when the coffee order call comes up, he gets up thinking it's his coffee. For some reason, the names are written on the coffee cup, but they're not calling the names. They're just calling what's in the coffee. So because they call him what's in the coffee, he heard what he ordered. So he got up to go get it. So when he got up to go get it, he's thinking that it's his coffee. The same woman walks over to come get the cup of coffee. When she touches it first, he's like, oh, that's mine. And she says, no, this is mine. Turns the cup around and shows that her name's on the cup. And he uses this as an opportunity to say, hey, how you doing? What's up? Da, 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 da. I'd like to get your number. Da, 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 da. And she's like, oh, really? It's like, I heard you and your boys over there talking about how you like to smash. And he's like, you heard that. The guys were all sitting there and they waved momentarily, but he's already tongue tied about this chick, because he's like, he already sees there's a element about her that exudes it. He's like, and they start talking, and he's like, I'm sorry. He's pretty much using his gift of gab to try to recircle the conversation around to get himself into where he was getting pushed out of. And she's like, oh, that's so nice. I'm about to go. And he's like, I'm sorry. I excuse my friends and I. And he's still trying to find his way to weasel in. Some of y'all, your man don't take rejection well. He doesn't. And because he don't take rejection well, it's hard for him to spin certain things around. Because he knows that it's so easy for him to be able to get what he wants. But it's also, some of y'all men have problems approaching. So they have to use something else, the way in which they approach the situation in order to get what they want. So because of this, there's an element about when they got to spin around the conversation a little bit. So what ended up happening, one of the baristas was coming out, and I don't know whether they just mopped the floor or what it was, but the dude slips, runs right into him, knocks him in such a way that his coffee ends up spilled all over him, and he tries to grab the guy before he falls, but the dude still falls anyway. And this actually impresses her. She's like, oh, isn't that valiant of you to actually have tried to stop him from falling? And they have a moment, and she's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna go. But the door there is open. In watching this film again, I now see where she was coming from. I see exactly what she was doing after knowing the entire storyline this time through. I could see where she was coming from. She watched and she let it go. So from this point, we already been through that. So what ends up happening is he goes back to work, and they had a few celebrity appearances in this film, and he has a friend of his that works in the office that is associated with one of his clients. The client is just all about herself. You can't do this for her, you can't do that for her. And this character was played by Brandy. And that meeting stops, and he gets a text message because the person got his number. And because this person got his number, this is the chick, and she said, I want to meet you at your place. And well, actually, no. She said that she wanted to meet him for lunch, is what she wanted first. A lot of these scenes took place in the exact same place, so it kind of spins me around because he was in the exact same place in both conversations. But so the first time that she interacts with him, they go to a burger place. And when they go to the burger place, they're standing on the street and interacting with each other. And he's like in awe because she actually contacted him back after he screwed up so royally the first time. So they meet, and he's talking a little bit, and you can kind of notice as the conversation is going that she has a way of getting him to open up about some things that he wasn't talking about initially. But she cuts to the chase. She says, so you kind of don't really stay in relationships with women very long. He's like, not really, I don't. And she does that on purpose. You don't really realize it at first. And she's like, oh, okay. So she pretty much tells him, she doesn't tell him her intention. She says that she'll be in touch with him. So he's thinking, okay, I'm gonna use her. She gonna be the one that I'm gonna spend time with until the wedding. Good. So let's see. Oh, I wanted to express this. Your kingdom spouse has had a lot of issues of playing the field for a minute. So, in previous relationships, he may probably have been triggered by someone he loved or that burned him, like a Vashti.